Let's talk about something that most of us have struggled with, especially if you're a kind-hearted, empathetic person. The art of saying no. More specifically, setting boundaries in a world that keeps demanding more from us. More time, more energy, more attention. So many people tell me I just don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But here's the truth. You can set boundaries and still be a loving, compassionate person. In fact, boundaries are essential because you care. Let's unpack this with some real psychological science behind it. This video will cover 6 important questions. Question 1. Can I set limits and still be a loving person? Question 2. What are legitimate boundaries? Question 3. How to manage your digital life so it doesn't control you? Question 4. What if someone is hurt by my boundaries? Question 5. How to respond when someone asks for your time, love, energy, or money? And question 6. Why guilt and fear often follow boundaries, and how to overcome it. Let's start with question 1. Can I set limits and still be a loving person? Yes, not only can you, but you must. Dr. Brené Brown, researcher and author, discovered something profound. The most compassionate people are also the most boundaried. Why? Because when you say yes to everything, you eventually burn out, resent others, or lose yourself in the process. Boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. They tell others this is what's okay and this is what's not. And the truth is, people feel safer around someone who's clear about their limits. It builds trust. Love without boundaries is like water without a container. It spills everywhere and evaporates. Question 2. What are legitimate boundaries? Let's define it simply. A boundary is a line you draw to protect your physical, emotional, mental, or digital well-being. Psychologist Dr. Henry Cloud, author of Boundaries, emphasizes that boundaries help us define who we are and who we are not. Some legitimate boundaries include emotional, I won't tolerate being yelled at. Time-based, I need weekends to rest, I can't work overtime. Physical, I'm not comfortable with hugs. Digital, please don't share my photos online. And financial, I don't lend money to friends or family. These are not selfish, these are healthy, because they protect your most valuable resources, your attention, your mental space, and your energy. Question 3. How do I manage my digital life so it doesn't control me? The phone, the digital vortex. Let's get real for a second. Our devices are designed to be addictive. The average person taps, swipes, or clicks 2,617 times a day, according to a study by Discout. Why? Because of dopamine. The feel-good neurotransmitter released when we get a like, a message, a notification. It rewards us for being online. But dopamine also conditions us to seek that reward loop over and over. So, digital boundaries aren't a luxury, they're necessary for mental clarity. Here are science-backed tips. Disable non-essential notifications. A 2015 study found that constant interruptions significantly increase stress and reduce productivity. Use Do Not Disturb modes, especially during meals, rest, or focused work. Batch your digital time. Research shows that checking messages in blocks, rather than constantly, reduces anxiety and improves cognitive focus. Create tech-free zones like your bedroom. Sleep hygiene experts strongly recommend no screens 30 to 60 minutes before bed, because blue light delays melatonin production. Remember, your brain needs downtime to process, recharge, and be creative. Question 4. What if someone is hurt by my boundaries? This is the tough part. When you say no to someone, especially someone close, they may feel disappointed, maybe even hurt. But their emotions don't necessarily mean your boundary is wrong. In psychology, this is where codependency often comes in. If you've been trained to meet everyone else's needs, even at the cost of your own, you'll naturally feel uncomfortable when you stop. And here's how you can reframe it. Their reaction is their responsibility. Your boundary is your responsibility. Dr. Nicole LaPera, also known as the holistic psychologist, explains that when you change a pattern, especially one where you've overgiven, people who benefited from that will react. It's not a sign you're wrong, it's a sign the system is adjusting. You can validate someone's feelings without erasing your boundary. For example, I understand this is hard for you. I care about you, but this is something I need to do for myself. Question 5. How do I respond when someone wants my time, energy, love, or money? It helps to have a few go-to phrases. Here are some grounded, respectful ones. That sounds important, but I don't have the bandwidth right now. I need to think about that before I say yes. I'm not in a position to help financially, but I hope things work out for you. I care about you, and I hope you find the support you need. You don't owe anyone an essay. A clear no is kinder than a resentful yes. And here's the deeper truth. Every yes is a no to something else. When you say yes to someone out of guilt, you're often saying no to your health, your kids, your dreams, or your peace of mind. Question 6. Why do I feel guilty or afraid when I consider setting boundaries? This one hits deep. That guilt, that fear, it often comes from childhood conditioning or social programming. You might have been raised to be the helper, the peacemaker, the good boy or nice girl. You may have learned that love is conditional, that you're only accepted when you're selfless, available, or agreeable. From a neuroscience perspective, your brain is wired to avoid rejection. In fact, social rejection activates the same brain regions as physical pain. It's the anterior cingulate cortex, to be specific. So it's not just in your head, your body feels it. Boundaries are how we reprogram those patterns. When you set a boundary and the sky doesn't fall, when you say no and still feel loved, when you put yourself first and realize you're okay, that's healing. That's freedom. Final thought, boundaries aren't selfish, they're self-respect in action. They're the foundation of healthy relationships, deep work, and peace of mind. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to take up space in your own life. So here's your invitation. Start with one small boundary. Practice it, honor it. Watch how it changes the way you show up, not just for others, but for yourself. You don't need permission to protect your peace. You only need the courage to begin. If this resonated with you, share it with someone else who's been giving too much of themselves. You never know how far one healthy no can ripple. If you would like to support the channel, leave a like, and maybe even subscribe if you want to hear more from us. Also, let me know in the comments what resonated with you the most. Thanks for watching.